Hello and good morning, and welcome to Ask a Web Geek. My name is CJ Gilbert, and you've joined us for episode number 24 of Ask a Web Geek. I'm so glad that you're here with us this morning. We've got a bunch of great questions from our live studio audience, and I'll be continuing to chat with them as we go along, but I'm so glad that you're with us watching this on the video or listening to it as a podcast later. So thanks for being here this morning. Just a couple things to go over before we jump into our slideshow. First of all, I want to share with you our featured animal of the week, and that's this gorilla. This is Gary the gorilla, and he's a permanent resident of our web jungle here. And I was trying to come up with a great metaphor for you. Talking about Gary, I like to give you some kind of a, I don't want to call it a lesson, but something you can hold on to for the next week. Something that reminds you to do something or be motivated. So I thought of Gary here, the silverback gorilla in our jungle, and I thought, you know, he's a big scary creature, right? Gorillas can be scary and aggressive, but they're also fiercely protective of their own families. So I decided, in our web jungle, you can think of me as your protective gorilla in the web jungle here. And I am protecting our tribe and our family here from the dangers in the web jungle. There's a lot of dangers. There's hidden traps. There's dangers you don't even know exist. There's wrong paths that you could stumble down. There's other natives of the jungle that are trying to deceive you and scam you and that kind of thing. And so I want you to think of me as your protective big brother, if you will. Your gorilla that's got your back in the jungle. So we're going through together as a tribe. And that's really the beautiful thing about what we've put together in our community. Sure, I'm a web geek and I know a lot about the internet, but the magical thing that's happened is there's been a lot of people that joined our community, and they've got more answers than I do, and all of us working together help each other out. So as you go through your week this week, I want to encourage you to think of me as that gorilla. Remember this gorilla, remember Gary the gorilla, and remember that we as a tribe are helping each other out. So don't feel alone this week. You've got someone that's got your back. Whether it's me or the gorilla or one of the other members of our jungle, we're all here working together. So I'm going to set Gary down right over there. Actually, let's put him over here. And we'll go ahead and jump into our slides. Ask a Web Geek with CJ Gilbert. I'm your web safari guide, and I'm here to help guide you through the jungle along with the rest of our tribe. And today we ask, what would you like to ask a web geek? You know, I believe that your website is your #1 tool to grow and support your business. And if you think of it like that, it can help you attract more customers, make more sales, enhance your customer service, increase your efficiency, save time, save money, and serve your clients better, faster, and easier. But there's a lot more tools than just your website out there. So we're going to talk about anything and everything we can that will help you make more sales, improve your customer service, increase your efficiency, save time, save money, and help you serve your clients better, faster, and easier. You know, I want to take a moment to just congratulate you. I believe that if you're watching me, if you're listening to me, you are one of the few people that are here to invest time into your life, into your business, and make something better. And I want to say, good for you. Congratulations, you're in the right place at the right time, and you're taking the steps you need to improve your situation. So I want to say, good for you. Congratulations. Ask a Web Geek. We're on a bunch of different places. Join our Facebook group. We go live into our Facebook group almost every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. We chat for a little while as a community, and then we, somewhere in the middle, make a show, make a podcast out of it. We're open to questions. I talk live with the folks in our studio audience throughout the show, and they get to witness all the behind-the-scenes nonsense. You should have seen the spoof that I just made that I cut totally out of the podcast. So if you want to see that and more, you'll have to come into our Facebook group, join the group, ask questions, participate in the live show, and see all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Also, you can subscribe on YouTube. A couple days after we tape the show live, I produce it as a show, as a video podcast. We put the video up on YouTube. We put the podcast over on our website, and it goes out to all the other channels from there. So subscribe on YouTube, or if you're a podcast listener, subscribe at any of your favorite podcast feeds. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Those are the two big dogs, and we're in several other places. So if you have a favorite, check us out there. there, ask Alexa to find our podcast, Ask a Web Geek, and let me know if you use a podcast service that we're not on, because I want to make sure it's there for you. And also follow on Twitter. I'm at Ask A Web Geek. That's me, CJ, at Ask A Web Geek. Please feel free to ask questions there or tweet along with the show. If you're listening to the podcast, doesn't matter what time of day, doesn't matter which episode you're listening to. It could be one of our early episodes. It could be from something last year. Doesn't matter. Let me know what episode you're listening to, what made you laugh, what questions you have, and I look forward to chatting with you further there. Wherever you can engage with us, I look forward to talking with you further. Disclaimer, you must be willing to have your question or issue addressed in a public forum. This is a public show. It's publicly available in our Facebook group and on YouTube and all the other places. So I just want to make sure that the topics we're covering are totally okay to cover in a public forum. We have ways of obscuring password fields and hiding other information if that's something we need to do. Just let me know if that's a concern for you. Also, this is not legal or professional advice. I'm a web geek and I know a lot about the internet and these web tools, but I'm not an attorney, and you need to have a licensed professional to help you with certain aspects of your business. So always consult with your attorney for legal or professional advice. Make sure you're talking to your CPA before you make any changes with your business, your structure, your finances, that kind of a thing. This is not legal or professional advice. Remember, you accept responsibility for everything. So who am I? I'm the Web Geek. My name's CJ Gilbert, and my business is serving your business. My business is Gilbert Studios Website Design, and I open my business to help other people in their business do more business and do better business. I believe a website is here to serve your business, and I'm here to serve your business too. Be on the lookout for your golden nugget today. You know, you'll learn something new each time you read my book, or you hear me speak, or you watch one of these videos. Even if you watch or listen to the same show a second, third, fourth, fifth time, you're going to get something new every time. It's just the way that our minds work. It's just the way our brains filter information. So all you have to do is be on the lookout for it, and you're gonna find it. So I say grab some paper, draw a line right down the middle, label the left side notes and the right side actions. This gives you a place to take kind of your stream of consciousness notes down that left-hand side. And then there's going to be certain things that really stand out to you and you want to move quickly, take really quick action on. Those are the items you're going to want to put in that right-hand column, and make sure to star your golden nuggets. Ask a Web Geek sponsored this week by a few things. Number one, I've got to tell you one last time about this incredible series that was just gone through by Eric Lofholm. He's my sales mentor, but I've been attending his 15-minute daily motivational phone call for the better part of a year or more, and it's amazing. And he just recently went through this series studying the success principles from Napoleon Hill. And it's not too late for you to grab this content. You can go to my special link right here, naphill.gilbertstudios.com. I made it so you didn't have to spell Napoleon. It's just nap, N-A-P, H-I-L-L, naphill.gilbertstudios.com. That'll take you over to the special landing page he created. Pop in your email address, and he's going to give you all 7 of those calls where he went over those principles. And there was even a 2-module, 2-day course where he actively walked you through creating a success plan. Amazing, amazing stuff. Please check it out, naphill.gilbertstudios.com. And if you haven't already, check out my free video workshop. It's the 5 keys to unlock the profit hidden in your website. You can find out about it at mywebsitesafari.com. This is a 7-part video series. Each video is only about 10 minutes long, and it's just going to walk you through several ideas to improve your website, which really is improving your business. So learn more about that at mywebsitesafari.com. One of the tools that we talk about in my video series is this free scan tool that I have available on my website. And I wanted to point it out to you right now because it's really important that you make sure that your business is listed correctly online. And you may not know how all these different website directory websites are listing you. Here's an easy free tool you can use to find out. Scan.gilbertstudios.com. Scan, S-C-A-N, scan.gilbertstudios.com. All you have to do is pop in your business name, business address, business phone number, and hit go. It's going to do a live scan. It's going to go out to these 60 to 80 different websites and find your listing that's there or not there and show you in real time what's correct, what's not, what needs to be fixed, where your phone number needs to be fixed, that kind of a thing. You can use that free tool and then go to each one of those sites and fix the problem, or give me a call or send me an email because I have a really cool service that synchronizes your listings across all the websites. It's pretty amazing what it can do and make sure that your business is listed on the maps and apps no matter what people are using to search your business. So check that out. Just run your free scan at scan.gilbertstudios.com. All right, buckle up and stay hydrated. I'm going to take a sip of coffee and water, and we're going to drive a little deeper into the jungle. Our featured topic of the week. So, way back in episode 2, I believe it was, we started posting some questions from our studio audience that we talked about, but then we left it open for ongoing discussion. And I have a slide later that talks about those specific pieces. But one of the questions we were talking about was on people's favorite content. What's it called? Customer Relationship Management Tools, CRM. Customer Relationship Management. One of our community members said, hey, what do you like? What have you used? What's working for you? And another one of our members said, what about a project management tools? There's all these websites out there. They're offering to help you with your organization, whether it's organizing your customers and where they are in your sales process and making sure you're following up with them, or as a graphic designer, website designer, organizing your project to make sure you're hitting your deadlines and you're meeting your customers' needs. Well, gang, this last week, I was introduced to a tool that looks totally amazing, and it might just be the tool that replaces all of the others. So on my slide here, I wrote one tool to rule them. That's a really big geek reference. And if you get that reference, I'm sorry. If you don't get that reference, that's okay. One tool to rule them. So today we're going to take a little bit of a field trip and we're going to go check out this new tool I just found out called ClickUp. And by the way, I have created a special link for you to use to go there. It's clickup.gilbertstudios.com. Click, C-L-I-C-K-U-P, up. C-L-I-C-K-U-P, clickup.gilbertstudios.com. That's my special affiliate link. It may give you some extra bonus if you use my link. It may give me some special bonus if you use my link. So please do that so that I get credit and that they know that you came from my show. Clickup.gilbertstudios.com. Let's go take a field trip right now and check out that website. I'll tell you right now, I'm barely know anything about it, quite frankly. I've only just played with it real quick. I went ahead and signed up for the free trial program, which I encourage you to do. By the way, this is our Ask A Web Geek website, AskAWebGeek.com. Send your friends and neighbors here. They can join our Facebook group, subscribe on YouTube, and all of our episodes are here. You can download the audio if you want to put it somewhere to listen later, or you can watch the videos. Totally up to you. All the links and resources are there as well. Here is the new tool I wanted to show you, ClickUp. So let me give you the full size screen here. And I've only started playing with it just a little bit, and there's a lot of things you can do with it. There's the list option, there's the board option, there's the schedule option, there's the timeline. There's a lot of really cool things in here. Now, according to the website, this is going to replace a whole bunch of other tools. So let me take you to some of their marketing material here, and I will show you which tools they're using. Apparently I can't do that because I'm logged in. Okay. So that's super functional. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close that after all. So this is just the sample that comes right out of the box when you sign in. There's a whole bunch of different templates you can use to get started, and there's instructional videos. I haven't watched any of the videos yet, and I've barely looked at anything. But I found the tool. It seems like it could replace some of those other tools. The price point is very affordable, so I wanted to bring it to your attention right away, especially since we've been talking about it for the last 20 episodes of the show. This might be a tool that replaces or enhances those other tools. So I had to tell you about it right away. ClickUp, and use my link if you would, clickup.gilbertstudios.com. I would love to hear how this works out for you. Here we are in the timeline view, which is super cool. Let's see what it looks like if we jump to this task. Homepage. This is not a live project of mine, by the way, so I'm not showing anybody's information. This is just the like sample information right here. We can assign a task. We can task watchers. We can assign comments. We can move it to different lists. Anyway, I'm going to be playing with this tool, and I want you to play with it too, and then let me know what you think. Is it better than some of the other ones? Maybe. I'm not sure. Let's do this. Let me open up a new browser real quick, and I'm going to use my special link, clickup.gilbertstudios.com, and I'm gonna take you to that now. It says one app to replace them all. I don't know if they're using that in the same way that I am. I bet they are. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to give you the real quick run through of what this supposedly can replace for you. It's all your work in one place: tasks, docs, chat, goals, and more. So it's got all of these built into it: to-do lists, project management, documents and notes, spreadsheets, email and chat, events, reminders, goal tracking, and time tracking. And there, it shows you which other tools it's going to replace. Let me just get this lined up real quick. Okay, so here, for example, it's talking about tasks. So this is a replacement for Todoist, Trello, TickTick. We talked about Trello previously as being a project management tool. So this is a replacement for that. Projects. This is going to replace Asana, Monday, and Jira. We've talked about Asana. We've talked about Monday. So this is the replacement for that. For documents, it replaces Confluence, Evernote, Google Docs. It integrates with these things as well, too, if you're already using something. Spreadsheets, Google Sheets, Airtable. Conversations replaces Slack, and it works with Outlook and Gmail. For the calendar, it replaces Smartsheet and Team Gantt, and it works with Outlook and as a two-way sync with your Google Calendar. It replaces TickTick with your inbox and reminders. For your goals, it replaces Lattice, GTM Hub, and Geese, or is that 7 Geese? And for your estimate and time tracking, it works with Harvest, Toggle, and EverHour. Toggle is one of those websites that I use as well to track my time when I'm not on my local computer where I use a different piece of software. So it's got all these views. It's got the list view and the grid view and the board view and the calendar view and the schedule view. Here's all the different softwares that it replaces. I'm looking for one particular. Here it is. These are all the integrations. So as far as time tracking, it works with all of these different pieces. For cloud storage, it works with all of these. As a developer, it works with all of these, Calendar, and more. Let me just take you through the more. Slack, Outlook, Loom, Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, Front, Cloud App, Calendly. We've talked about Calendly in a previous show, too. I'm really excited to see what it can do with there. Ring Central, HubSpot. These are integrations, by the way. Google Forms and Help Scout and many others. It's still scrolling. There's Evernote. So it also includes an offline mode. You can download ClickUp on your device, on your computer, and there's an offline mode. A customer was just asking me for a recommendation like that last week, and I didn't have anything to tell him because I didn't think there were any softwares that had an offline mode like this. So this one does. It meets that need too. I'll have to tell him about that. Dave, if you hear me later, this has that feature. So anyway, I think my video, maybe my audio is getting a little wobbly as I'm looking at this screen. So I'm going to pull it back here for just a second and close some of these windows down. All right, I think that pulls me back now. So that's my recommendation for you this week. Check that out. Use my link, clickup.gilbertstudios.com, and we'll check it out together. Come into our Facebook group. Let me know what you think. We've got an ongoing conversation about the project management tools and the customer relationship management tools. As I'm saying that, I realize I should put my own post under those posts to let you know about this tool that I've just found. So I'm going to do that. And then, and should I even make a new post? I don't know. Come to our Facebook group and look for the post where we're talking about it and jump in. I will make a new post about it because if you try it, I want to hear what your thoughts are specifically on this software. So I will make a new post about it. So come look for that and let us know what you think. Thank you so much to those telling me about that and for your other recommendations. And I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out. All right, let me grab a sip of my coffee and we'll jump into some questions here. It's now time to Ask a Web Geek. Our web community was live with me this morning and asked me a whole bunch of questions, so we'll go ahead and jump into some of those in just a moment. Here's the ongoing conversations I was referring to where I was asking, what customer relationship tools have you tried? What project management tools have you tried? And we've got a whole bunch of other answers from our community here. I'm going to go ahead and add ClickUp to this list now because it looks like a really great solution. Also, do you have any recommendations for offline marketing techniques, books, or resources? We're interested in learning relatively cheap things that business owners and independent professionals can do to gain greater exposure and reach in their local areas and beyond. So, of course, we're always looking for online tools and resources, but we also want to learn about those offline tools and resources too. So come find this conversation and let me know if you have any ideas for that. And another question from our community, Melissa wanted to know, what's the correct way to come up with your own Instagram hashtag? And I gave some thoughts on that in a previous show. And last week, I mentioned some additional comments that our community had supplied, some additional tools and websites that they recommend. So you can either come to the Facebook group to read those or check out last week's show, episode 23. We talked about that a little bit. And let me just give you the overview of the last few shows we did. The very last week, episode 23, we talked about website images and why size matters and what you can do to balance the quality and download speed of your images for the best user experience. The week before that, episode 22, I talked about creating a secure password that you can actually remember. And I revealed my secret password formula. So you can use this formula to create a secure, unique password for every website and still remember it. And in episode 21, the week before that, we discussed how to avoid the spam quicksand, being targeted or taken advantage of, either receiving too much spam or being accused of sending spam, and how you can avoid that. And then in the previous week, episode 20, I talked about the confusion around domain names, website hosting, and email. Sometimes all of those are at the same website or source, and sometimes they're spread out across a couple different websites and sources and companies. So we talked about a little bit about what that was and how it works together so that you can find the information you need about those pieces for you. All right, I want to talk about a couple questions that we've been asked by our audience. Jeffrey Redondo asked me this question a couple weeks ago about choosing a WordPress theme, and he wants to know specifically about Thrive themes. Is it good, or do I suggest something else? That's a great question, Jeffrey. What I'm going to do here is pull up the website. So here we are over at thrivethemes.com. Jeffrey, is this what you were talking about? This particular website, these particular set of tools? Thrive Themes. There's a bunch of themes out there, and of course I don't know about them all. But I did want to share with you just a couple some general ideas of what you're gonna include. So there's a couple pieces to this puzzle, okay? So you've got so let me just outline a couple ideas, and I don't have this up on my slides for you to follow along with, so I'll just do my best. So WordPress is the base software. That's the software, that's the content management system that is running the website. You grab that WordPress software free from wordpress.org, and you can build a WordPress website. Out of the box, it's got a couple built-in themes, somewhat kind of basic, really great if you want to start a blog website and get it going immediately. Out of the box, you can do that and be off and go, and you've got it. And a lot of these tools, a lot of these hosting companies even have a one-click install to get you started with your website hosting and your website. So for example, if that's something that you want to do and you want to just go for it, you can use the company that I use, and you can use my link to get there, dreamhost.gilbertstudios.com. dreamhost.gilbertstudios.com. Use my link, go open up a new hosting account, and you can use their one-click install to get a WordPress site up and running. But you may want to enhance it. So right out of the box, it's got a lot of great functionality, and it's a fully functional website. However, if you want to make it fancier, prettier, etc., then you're going to want to add another theme to it. And themes usually are thought of as the prettification, the prettying up of the website. It adds a little more graphics. It makes it look a little better. It provides a different kind of layout. There might be some pre-built layouts you can use to create your home page and your about page. So it gives you kind of a graphic head start, if you will. Usually these templates, these themes have some stuff right out of the box. You can just swap in your stuff, and that might work for you as well. So the base software is WordPress. Then on top of that, we add the theme. The theme usually refers to the general layout of the graphic interface, how it looks. Then if you want more functionality, so that's mainly about how it looks. Now, if you want to change the function or enhance the function of the website, then you're going to be installing plugins. Plugins are extra pieces of software that you install into the WordPress site to make it do more stuff. Now, sometimes you'll get a theme and it will come with plugins, or you install the theme and it prompts you also install these plugins to make our theme work. So this is where it starts to get a little bit out of control or a little more difficult to talk about, because different themes could come with different plugins or recommend certain plugins. I also want to bring up some themes provide just kind of the graphic overview, and you only have a couple places to put stuff. Or you might get a theme that's actually like a website builder, and it has built-in tools to move the things around the page. So to get back to Jeffrey's question specifically, it looks to me like these Thrive themes, if this in fact is what you're talking about, these Thrive themes do include some of the plugins that they recommend. And it's calling itself an all-in-one toolbox. And here's the editor, the drag and drop editor that they use. They call it Thrive Architect. Okay, so that's the specific plugin that they use as their builder as part of their theme. So see how all these things kind of go together? It's a little hard to talk about, isn't it? But this is the builder that you can use to build the pages inside their theme. And I don't know this company specifically or have used a lot of their things, so I'm just going to mention that. Then they talk about Thrive Leads, so that's probably another plugin that they provide to help you build your mailing list. I might recommend something differently. You know, we'll see. I've talked about that previously. Here's a quiz builder, Thrive Quiz Builder, and Thrive Theme Builder to customize your WordPress website. So there's a lot of pieces in here. Again, there's the website software, the core software, that's WordPress in this case. Then there's the theme that goes on top of it. That's how it looks, and the colors, and sometimes the layout, how things appear on the page. And sometimes there's some pre-built ones you can use. And then you've got the plugins that add extra software, extra functionality, do more stuff, basically. So you can think of the theme as how it looks and the plugins as what it does, or having it do more for you. So if you have any more specific questions than that, if you've installed a plugin or you've installed a theme and you want us to look at the back end and answer a couple questions, we would love to do that on a future show. Jeffrey, let me know what you think about that. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot of answers for you specifically on this, except I wanted to at least give you some of that overview information. The core software, theme, plugins, builders are sometimes part of the theme, but sometimes they're a plugin, or sometimes they're kind of both together. Let me know specific questions if you can. We can log into a website and look at it, we certainly will do that. Thank you so much for your question. He's got a few more questions. Let's see what else he asks. If you're a mid/novice with WordPress but need some small tweaks on the CSS, where would you go? Garrison says, you should hire CJ for an hour of training. Great question, Garrison, or great answer, Garrison. Yes, you can absolutely hire me for an hour of training. We'll dive into your website together and figure out specifically what you need. Because the answer to this question is also going to be, it depends. Because in general, there is a place in the back end of the WordPress site for you to go into what they call the editor, and you can add some CSS commands directly into the editor. But before you do that, there might be a place as part of your theme, inside the theme options, there may be another place in there for you to add a little bit of CSS code if you want to make some tweaks. And in addition to that, so we talked about the editor, we talked about the theme may have some options, and then there's another place called the customizer, and it also has a place for you to put in some CSS commands. And a fourth answer, depending on the kind of theme and or builder that you're using in your site, there may be some additional CSS tweaks you can make right in the very page you're editing. So there's actually 4 answers to your question, Jeffrey. It could be the very page you're editing, depending on your theme and or builder. It could be what they call the customizer, which is what you click when you click customize on the theme. Your theme might have its own kind of dashboard built into the site, and there may be a place to add CSS code as part of that. And then the 4th place is the actual WordPress editor, which edits the raw files of your theme. That's like a last case scenario. I wouldn't advise you to do that unless you know what you're doing. So it's easier / better to use one of those previous places to stick that CSS code in. Does that answer your question, Jeffrey? Small tweaks on the CSS. So that's only if you know what tweaks you want to make. And if you don't, come back here and ask me more follow-up questions. And of course, Garrison's right. I am available for an hour of coaching just to specifically address your exact site and your exact needs. Jeffrey's also asking, is there a good plugin to speed up your page, or does that have to do with the server? Yes and yes. So it does have to do with the server. A lot of, if you open up your own website hosting account, you may be getting the bottom level website hosting. There's a great big website hosting company that starts with a G. It's not Gilbert Studios. It's another one that spends a lot of money on Super Bowl ads. And their website hosting is very basic and very limited. And I often have trouble with WordPress websites running well right out of the box built on that hosting environment, because it requires additional tweaks. You've got to get into the extra special places and raise the memory limits and that kind of a thing. Like extra on those kind of a platforms. Now, the hosting that I provide to my clients who are coming directly to me for hosting is a higher level of website hosting. I use what they call a virtual private server, which is a better level than just the shared hosting plan that you usually get at the lowest level. So I have the next level up, a virtual private server, which allows me to allocate dedicated resources to each client as they need it. So it provides a higher level of functionality. And that's what I'd set you up with if you came to me for your website hosting. And then, so that's all based on your server, your hosting, and the settings of your server. Your mileage may vary. And in addition, yes, it also has to do with the plugins that you've got. Remember a few minutes ago when I was talking about the themes versus the plugins versus the builder? Some of that software becomes very cumbersome, requires a lot of resources to run. It's very intensive on the server. So it's some of those plugins and stuff right out of the box might be a heavy load. Or you might install a theme and you might install all the plugins it recommends for you to install, and all of a sudden you find that your website's running very slowly. It's because each one of those plugins adds a little bit of strain onto your website. So I would caution you as to how many plugins you're installing into your site and what's active and what's running. The more that's running, the bigger the machine, the more complicated, the more could go wrong. It could slow down, or some of those plugins could fight with each other and have issues between a plugin and a theme, or a couple plugins with each other. So it starts to get a little a little crazy as you add more and more software. There could be conflicts. And the final answer to your question is, depending on your server, depending on your theme, depending on what's available to you, you may be able to take advantage of some kind of caching software. That's spelled C-A-C-H-I-N-G. And it refers to a website remembering certain information. That is to say, when someone comes to your website, they're served a fresh copy of the website over and over and over again 1,000 times a day. But if you're not making a lot of changes to your site, you can take advantage of something called caching, where it basically takes a copy of your website and it makes it, and then as more people come to your website, it just gives them that same copy. It's not like it's not rebuilding it every single time for every client. It builds it and then it hands it out to each person. The cached copy that speeds up your website a little bit more. So again, I can't talk about a specific plugin because I don't know what might be available to you in your system, but it's called a cache, C-A-C-H-E, cache or caching software. That would be the thing that you want to look for. See if it's already built into something that you're using. There might be a plugin, there might be a tool, there might be a setting in your theme that talks about caching. Just for example, when I'm building a website from scratch, we don't use any caching while we're building it. Once we've got the site up and it's stable, then we add the caching after that to speed it up just a little bit. So that's not a specific plugin I can recommend. See, ironically, he's asking, is there a good plugin to speed up your page? The thing I'm going to recommend to speed up your page is take out as many plugins as possible, not add another plugin. And that goes back to what I was saying before. So I hope that answers your question just a little bit. Let me know what future more questions you have about that. Okay? And finally, he asks, is it better to have a one-page website landing page or a full website, home, about us, products? That's a really great question. I'm going to refer you back to 2 episodes where we talked about this a little more in depth. In episode 2, one of our first episodes, we talked about the concept of a website versus a funnel or a sales funnel. So jump to episode 2 And I'll provide the link in the show notes here to jump to that. Episode 2, I talk more about a website versus a funnel. And then in episode 3, I answer this exact same question, Jeffrey, a website versus a landing page, or one website versus multiple landing pages. And I kind of tie those two pieces together because they kind of all go together. A website versus a funnel versus landing pages. And my answer is it's kind of a blend of all of the above. And it really has to do with what you need it to do for you. So I'm going to refer you back, check out episode 2 and really episode 3 for the answer to this question. Websites versus landing pages. And I don't want to go over it again because we already did in episode 3. So please go there to check that out. What other questions do you have? What else do you want to ask a web geek? I'm here to answer any of your questions. And if I don't know the answer, we'll ask our community and someone will know the answer. That's the beauty of the community that we've built. So please ask us any questions you want. Come to our Facebook group, Ask a Web Geek. Find me on Twitter at Ask A Web Geek and ask me any questions you have about websites, marketing, online tools, email campaigns, and more. I'm here to serve you. My business is here to serve your business. So let me know how I can help make your business better. And Ask a Web Geek, do check out our sponsors this week. This class by Eric Lofholm has been amazing. Check it out. naphill.gilbertstudios.com. Learn those core success principles from Napoleon Hill. naphill, naphill.gilbertstudios.com. And my free video workshop, mywebsitesafari.com. Learn the core principles to make your website work for your business. And don't forget to check out this free scan tool, scan.gilbertstudios.com. Punch in your business info and just take a look at where you show up and how you show up online. Is there something missing? Is there something wrong? And you can take those steps and those actions to fix it. And if you need my help, my contact information will be on that report also. There's a big green button, I think, somewhere. Click it and let me know if you need any help with that. I'm so grateful for your time and attention. All the links and details are at askawebgeek.com. We've got show notes with links to everything, a resource page with all the links and resources on it. And Garrison's recommending that I create a page, like a summary of all the topics that we've talked about. That's a pretty good idea. I'm going to have to put that together, Garrison. Thanks for the prompt on that one. So you can find that and more at askawebgeek.com. Well, thank you so much for your time and attention here this morning. This is CJ Gilbert in the Web Cave, reminding you to join up with a tribe of people. You know, we understand that the internet is a jungle. It's too easy to get lost and go down the wrong path and find yourself stuck in a quicksand or at a dead end or in a trap you didn't even see coming. If you're wise, you'll join up with a tribe of people and you'll hire a well-trained guide to lead you through and get you where you want to go. I'll be happy to help you with any questions that you've got over this next week. I want to wish you the very best week. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Website Wednesday. And we'll see you next week in the Web Jungle. God bless. There's no magic button to hit at this point. I just decide when the show starts, and that's when the show starts, with the magic of editing. Totally seamlessly. No one will ever know that anything ever happened as we cut out all that nonsense and seamlessly transition into our slides. The internet's a jungle. Roar!